Hello and welcome to Final Score. The weather has disrupted a few matches, quite a few actually, but all of today's planned Premier League encounters are well underway. Watching them with interest while dreaming of building their snowmen later are Steve Claridge, Martin Keown and Garth Crooks. All the scores and more in the next hour for you. There was an early kick-off at Fratton Park and it finished Portsmouth 2, Liverpool 0. We're going to discuss that in length later, but let's start by getting all the latest on the Premier League games that kicked off at 3 o'clock. And the first thing we're going to do is go to Craven Cottage and Roger Johnson, who is watching the Champions Trail.
They are. It's Fulham 2, Manchester United 0. You know, when United lost this fixture for the first time in 45 years last season, it was their fourth and final defeat of a title-winning campaign. Well, they're heading for their fifth defeat of this season, and it's not even Christmas. Without a recognised centre-half, their defence has a soft centre, and Danny Murphy exploited it when robbing Scholes to curl Fulham ahead. 22 seconds into the second half, Zamora headed the second, his 10th of the season. United have Rooney and Berbatov on from the bench up front. Owen has been replaced by Welbeck. Fulham have had the better of the game's other chances, but United playing with more fluidity now without really extending Mark Schwarzer. The home fans are enjoying it, so are their near neighbours, no doubt, at Chelsea. They play tomorrow and could go 6 points clear if United slip up here. They've got just over a quarter of an hour to rescue something. It's Fulham 2, Manchester United 0, and now it's Fulham 3, Manchester United 0, because Damien Duff has just romped through and lashed in the third, and Chelsea really will be celebrating. United are heading for defeat. Duff with the third, a fine finish from the edge of the penalty area, left-footed on the volley, and it's Fulham 3, Manchester United 0.
Fulham beat them at Craven Cottage, didn't they, last March, the first time in 45 years, heading for a historic double there. Let's go to the City of Manchester Stadium. 7 goals in this match so far. Damien Johnson can tell us which way they've gone.
4-3 City at the moment, Gabby. Typical seesaw Manchester City. They raced into a 2-0 lead through Roque Santa Cruz and a Carlos Tevez penalty, but surrendered it with awful defending, which allowed John Mensah and Jordan Henderson to pull Sunderland level. Bellamy restored City's lead before the interval, but more defensive shortcomings allowed Kenwyne Jones to head another equaliser. Santa Cruz's second goal of the game has put City back in front. That defensive curmudgeon Alan Hansen would hate it, but it's great fun.
Indeed, and the team who seem to be in the driving seat for that fourth spot, Aston Villa, at home this afternoon, taking on Stoke. Ivan Gaskell's been watching this one.
Yes, 1-0. Villa should have been out of sight by half-time. A succession of chances missed or saved by their old boy Sorensen. But as Stoke survived and indeed seethed that Sidibe's seemingly good goal was chalked off, they grew in confidence through Whelan and Tunshai, who was only denied by a brilliant late tackle by Young. They should have scored, but then Villa, their goal came eventually. Young's cross, Carews' unstoppable header, 1-0.
Dublin Gate seems to have dominated Tottenham's thoughts and words this week heading into their match at Ewood Park. It's not affecting their football at the moment, though. Alan Biggs is watching.
No, it's Blackburn 0, Spurs 1, and Tottenham players very much, as you say, on a mission here to curb the wrath of Redknapp after that illicit Christmas bash. But Blackburn have also come to the party, having the better of it in all but the scoreline. Strong pressure, especially since the break with McCarthy hitting the post. Good chance that. Spurs have had to defend desperately at times, but they have got the only goal. Peter Crouch's header at the end of first half stoppage time, and Blackburn facing only their third home defeat in a year under Sam Allardyce, whose first anniversary is today. It's Spurs still leading 1-0.
That's not the present he was expecting, is it? Jonathan Pearce was watching that match at Fratton Park. Let's get the details now.
Anyone's guess. For Portsmouth, though, there is hope. Pompey 2, Liverpool 0.
What an afternoon we're having. I seem to say that every week. But let me just tell you this. If things stay as they are, Aston Villa are 2 points off Manchester United in third place this evening. Let's talk about Manchester United first, Steve. This will be their biggest defeat of the season and one that, you know, nobody saw coming. Is it to do with the restructured defence and the lack of personnel?
Yeah, I mean, that is a worry, of course. And I mean, that they have been culpable at the back for some bad defensive errors. But give Fulham their credit as well. This is a Fulham side who, if we remember rightly, only Wednesday night went to Basel and in a must-win game had to qualify in the Europa Cup. So they haven't had an easy time going into this game. They haven't shown a lot going forward. I think that's probably been the most worrying aspect of Man United's play. So yes, all round it's been a bad day for them.
At the City of Manchester Stadium, at the moment, it's Manchester City 4, Sunderland 3. We know that can change any second now. What's that doing for Mark Hughes' future? What you've seen of his team and the way they've set about it this afternoon?
Well, today, I mean, going forward, there aren't any problems. You've got Bellamy, Santa Cruz, all in top form today. Tevez, of course, but defensively, they're so open, they're all over the place. I mean, you wouldn't know where to start trying to tie them down from set pieces, from open play. Their responsibilities when we're in possession and out of possession. And at the moment, nobody wants to really defend in the team, and they're getting punished. At the moment, it's 4-3. It could end up all square. It's been that sort of game all afternoon.
Let's talk about Liverpool quickly. Garth, 2-0 they went down at Fratton Park. Benitez promised a top-4 finish at the beginning of the week. Not looking good, is it?
Yeah, it was a poor performance, no doubt about it. Mascherano gets sent off. But the interview that Rafa Benitez had after the game with Jonathan Pearce, where he said the referee was perfect performance, I think he was being sarcastic.
A bit of Christmas sarcasm there. Thank you very much for the moment, Garth. Let's go to Ewood Park. Alan Biggs can tell us about a disallowed goal.
Yes, Tottenham have had the ball in the Blackburn net, and for the second time in the game, it was Peter Crouch who planted it there with a header, but this was ruled out for offside. Aaron Lennon's cross, Crouch's header. Crouch looked aghast, but I thought the linesman was spot on. He looked clearly offside to me.
League One leaders, Leeds, have got a goal. Steve Lee can tell us about it.
Yes, it's Leeds 1, Southampton 0, 13 minutes left, and it looks like Robert Snodgrass has finally broken a stubborn Southampton resistance. Wonderful individual goal, stepped inside his marker, curled the shot inside the right-hand corner. All this on Simon Grayson's first anniversary here, and it was a vote of confidence from the crowd, really. We've just seen Jermaine Beckford subbed off. He had a spat on the touchline with Grayson. The crowd responded by chanting Grayson's name, and now Snodgrass looks to have got the winner. 1-0 Leeds.
Thank you very much, Steve. Well, the first half wasn't up to much, according to Tony Husband at Home Park, but there's been a goal for him to tell us about.
And it followed a concerted period of Plymouth pressure, but it's gone at the other end. Coventry's David Bell crossing from the right. Freddie Eastwood with a header, putting Coventry in front, and it's not a good start here at home for the new Argyle head coach Paul Mariner. Plymouth 0, Coventry 1 with 12 minutes to play.
Coventry going for back-to-back wins. Let's go to Carrow Road. Mark Bishop has got a little bit of updating to do for us. A few goals to tell us about.
A lot of goals, Gabby. Norwich City 3, Huddersfield Town 0. Paul Lambert, remember, took over a dishevelled relegated side just 2 matches into the start of the season. How Norwich are flying now. Brilliant individual effort from Wes Hoolahan, made it 1-0. He turned provider, a through ball for Chris Martin, 2-0. And then a corner down on the near side to my left, which Lapping took. The ball rebounded. In came Doherty, who lashed the ball past Smithies. Over 25,000 here at Carrow Road, loving every minute of it. Norwich 3, Huddersfield Town 0.
Well, the atmosphere sounds great. Paul Lambert, that would be his 7th win on the bounce at home for Norwich. Great run of form they're having. Let's go to Ibrox. Rangers have gone back to the top of the SPL this week, and they were running away with this one the last time we spoke to Brian McLaughlin.
Yeah, they certainly are. It's now Rangers 4, Motherwell 1. A double from Kenny Miller, Chris Boyd and Kyle Lafferty getting the 4th goal for Rangers. Sean Hutchison had pulled one back for Motherwell, but they've been a very dispirited side this afternoon. 8 minutes left for play here at Ibrox. Rangers 4, Motherwell 1.
Oh, it's Geoghegan. Right, let's go to London Road. Tony Lockwood can tell us about Exodus Geoghegan's goal.
Yes, it's a big goal for the Championship's basement club because Watford, who trailed at the break, have been a transformed side in the second half. John Eustace's side-foot finish cancelling out Lee Frecklington's early goal for the Posh. But Exodus Geoghegan on the end of George Boyd's cross, the player recruited from non-league football. It's a big goal for Peterborough. Peterborough 2, Watford 1.
That would be Mark Cooper's first win as manager of Peterborough. There's been a goal at Ewood Park. Alan Biggs.
And this time it counts. For the 3rd time in the game, Peter Crouch has put the ball in the Blackburn net. Unlike the one just now, which was ruled out for offside, this one definitely counts. It was substitute Jermaine Jenas with the cross low from the right, and Peter Crouch swept it home. A very good finish indeed, as was his header in the opening half. And it's Blackburn 0, Tottenham 2.
And I imagine they'll go out and have a few beers to celebrate that tonight. Garth?
Well, the Dublin Gators, I think, may be forgiven after this result. I think it's the move of the day. It starts in their own box primarily, and they finish the ball in the back of the Blackburn net. It's a great move, and it's crowned an excellent performance for me.
Brian McLaughlin is earning his money today. Let's go back to Ibrox.
Yeah, the game was over a long time ago. It's now Rangers 5, Motherwell 1. A solo effort this time from DeMarcus Bealey down the right-hand side, cut in and then pulled out John Ruddy before clipping the ball into the back of the net. Rangers 5, Motherwell 1.
And they would go 4 points clear of Celtic, who play tomorrow. Aberdeen are playing Hibs at Pittodrie. Ian Turner's watching. Hibs looking to close the gap on Celtic.
And they're going to, this one's as good as over, Gabby, because Aberdeen have been reduced to 10 men now. Lee Miller sent off for a cynical kick on Miriweno Zemama just a couple of minutes ago. Hibs are going to keep the pressure on Rangers and Celtic at the top of the SPL, despite being below par today. Bitterly cold in Aberdeen, but Hibs brought their gloves, and Anthony Stokes has scored twice. It's Aberdeen 0, Hibs 2.
Ian, those gloves and tights are working this afternoon. Let's go to Hillsborough. I'm sure Harry Gratian has got his thermals on. He's watching a Swansea side beat the home side at the moment. Any way back for the home side?
Well, I think the question is, Gabby, will Wednesday ever score? Real second-half chances wasted from Darren Pearce, James O'Connor and Francis Jeffers. And basically, they should have scored before now. But Darren Prattley's 2 first-half goals have made it a bit of a cruise for Swansea. They lead 2-0.
OK, let's go to the City of Manchester Stadium, because it's been a while, actually, Damien Johnson, when all things are considered, that you've had a goal to talk about. 4-3 at the moment. Is there going to be an equaliser in this one?
I think it's looking more like City to score. They've just gone close. Bellamy and Tevez set up Ireland. He fired narrowly over the bar, just tipped over by Fulop. Sunderland lucky not to escape going down to 10 men. Nyron Nosworthy just getting a yellow card for a nasty-looking challenge on Company. It's 4-3, but yeah, I'm sure there are more goals to come.
OK, and let's go to the Valley, where there is definitely a goal to talk about. Lizzie Greenwood-Hughes, which way is this one gone?
A 10-man Millwall have just equalised. It's Charlton 3, Millwall 3. Right back, Alan Dunn did all the work down the right-hand side. Took a shot at the goal. The keeper saved it, but not very well. And David Martin put home the rebound. It's not gone down very well with the fans here in this big derby. It's Charlton 3, Millwall 3 with about 10 minutes to go.
Thanks, Lizzie. QPR got themselves a new manager this week. Paul Hart's first match in charge at home against Sheffield United. And Andy Barwell is at Loftus Road.
And it's one apiece, yes. A great start for Hart as manager of QPR. Inside 90 seconds, they went ahead. Skipper Michaele Lidgetwood getting them off to a flyer. That was the first goal conceded by Sheffield United in more than 4.5 hours play. But Kevin Blackwell's side responded. It was Richard Cresswell who scored on loan from Stoke City. Sheffield United bossed the rest of the first half. QPR have had the better of the second period. It's one apiece.
3 clubs in the Championship changed their management this week. Reading were one of those, and they're at Ashton Gate this afternoon. Hamish Marshall is watching.
They're trailing by 1-0, and Brian McDermott's getting a lesson on the frustrations of management. His fourth from bottom Reading side have been the better team, but they haven't been able to score thanks to weak finishing and some excellent last gasp defending. Paul Hartley's emphatically taken penalty still separates the sides. As it stands, City are closing in on the playoff places. 6 minutes plus stoppages to go.
It's all square at Selhurst Park. Any sign of a winner, John Anderson?
Not at the moment. It's been a cracking game, though. 1-1. Darren Ambrose missing a second-minute penalty for Palace before Daniel Bogdanovic's 7th goal of the season put Barnsley ahead. But Palace's equaliser, an absolute beauty from Victor Moses, coveted by Premier League clubs, and it's not hard to see why. A stunning overhead kick volleyed in from the edge of the penalty area. Absolutely brilliant. It's been a tremendous game, but it's still 1-1.
Doncaster Rovers are going for their 4th win on the bounce without conceding a goal. They're at Pride Park. Andrew James is watching this one.
Very much on course for it as well, Gabby. They still lead by 1-0. Billy Sharp's first half effort. It was one of the only chances that Doncaster have had all game. It really has been all Derby, but they've simply been unable to put any chances in on the Doncaster goal. Derby 0, Doncaster 1.
Let's go to League One. Richard Askham is at Prenton Park. How's this one going?
Tranmere Rovers 2, Bristol Rovers 0. Gabby, the Tranmere Rovers manager known affectionately as Les the Whitelegs Parry because of his insistence on wearing shorts no matter what the weather, will certainly have been warmed by what he's seen today so far. His side took the lead with a lovely strike from Craig Curran in the first half before Gareth Edds doubled their tally, and playoff chasing Bristol Rovers have been poor and they trail by 2-0.
I can't imagine how cold Les Parry is this afternoon. Well, it's been about a minute, so let's go back to Ibrox. Brian McLaughlin.
Yeah, just about time for another goal for Rangers, another goal for Kyle Lafferty. DeMarcus Beasley sent the ball through the middle. This Motherwell defence stood still. Lafferty didn't, and he lobbed the ball beyond Ruddy into the back of the net. Rangers 6, Motherwell 1.
Jason Mohammed was supposed to be at Cardiff this afternoon. That match got cancelled, so he tootled along the M4 to the county ground. And he's enjoying his afternoon, aren't you, watching Swindon Brighton?
I'm enjoying myself. I can officially say England is colder than Wales, trust me. It's all Swindon here. Gus Poyet's Brighton and Hove Albion have been competitive, but have lacked the sharpness and slick passing that Danny Wilson's side has shown. Billy Painter has been a real handful for the Seagulls' defence. He scored from the spot on 31 minutes when he was pushed in the back. Brighton, when they've passed the ball, they've looked dangerous, especially Lee Elliott-Bennett. His delicious cross was headed in by Nicky Forster on 37 minutes. But in the second half, Swindon have been terrific. And in John Paul McGovern, they have a player willing to run at people, and his cross on 54 minutes was headed in by Charlie Austin for his 5th goal of the season. Swindon have been very, very good this half. It's Swindon Town 2, Brighton Hove Albion 1.
Lizzie Greenwood-Hughes is running Brian McLaughlin close as hardest working reporter of the afternoon. Let's go back to the Valley. What's happened?
Charlton, it's probably retribution, I would say, are winning 4-0 at the moment. Dion Burton has scored a hat-trick. It was off a corner, and the goalkeeper didn't have a chance, really. Charlton 4, a 10-man Millwall 3.
OK, let's go to Steve Sutton. He's at Victoria Park this afternoon. It's all square. Any signs of a winner?
Well, Hartlepool have come the closest, Gabby. Adam Boyd could have had a hat-trick this second half, and it was his ball across the face of the goal that was met by a sliding Andy Monkhouse to equalise Sam Williams' first-half goal for Yeovil. It's still bitterly cold. It's 1-1, and it's snowing really heavily at the moment.
League Two leaders Rochdale running away with it at Scotland. James Mason's been watching them.
Yep, 4-0, Gabby. 2 goals apiece from Craig Dawson, and the superb Chris O'Grady, who's just gone off, have demolished the Pitterville Shrewsbury Town side in very snowy conditions after spending the last 35 years in the bottom tier of English football. Could this be the year Rochdale fans finally get to celebrate? I don't want to pour scorn on that, but it's Rochdale 4, Shrewsbury Town 0.
There'll be 7 points clear this evening. Let's go to the City of Manchester Stadium again. Manchester City 4, Sunderland 3. What's going to happen in the closing stages, Damien Johnson?
Well, it's gone vaguely quiet. The board has just gone up. 4 minutes of injury time to be played. It's getting a bit feisty. 1 or 2 challenges going in, but a needle edging into the game. It's been thrilling entertainment. 4-3 City lead. 2 goals from Roque Santa Cruz. His first 2 Premier League goals in a City shirt. I think City are going to hang on. I'm going to stick my neck out, but it's 4-3.
Be back to you in a moment with the Sunderland goal then. Let's go to Villa Park now. Ivan Gaskell's watching Aston Villa 1, Stoke 0. There must be excitement in the ground as we approach Christmas there, Ivan. They're 2 points away from Manchester United in 3rd place tonight.
Well, there's more intrigue than excitement. I think there's anxiety around me here because, well, Stoke, you have to give them real credit. They've really made a fight of this one. 1-0 is not a comfortable lead for Villa here as we just cross into added time in this game. Etherington and Tunshai particularly, Whelan, they've all given the Villa fans some sort of cause for concern. 3 minutes of added time here. This is not over yet, trust me. 1-0 Villa.
I do, Ivan. Roger Johnson's at Craven Cottage. I want to know what Sir Alex Ferguson's body language is like at the moment.
Doesn't look very happy, I have to say. 3-0 to Fulham still. Bobby Zamora, scorer of the second, has just gone off. An offside flag has just gone up against the man who's replaced him, Eric Nevland, as Fulham seek a 4th. And Zamora went off to a standing ovation, which is quite a turnaround when he started his little purple patch of scoring a few games ago against Sunderland. He railed against those who've been giving him a hard time for his scoring record. Well, he's put one in the net today. United really have conceded more ground perhaps to Chelsea when they play tomorrow against West Ham. They're just going through the motions now. We're into 3 minutes of added time. Fulham 3 up.
They're not going through the motions at the City of Manchester Stadium, are they, Damien?
They're not. It's not another goal I've got to report, but a sending off. Michael Turner, the Sunderland central defender, a straight red card for leading with the arm against Gareth Barry. Barry, who's been in the wars all afternoon, is getting treatment down below me. It's 4-3 to City. We're in injury time. Turner off.
Was it a sending off?
In my opinion, absolutely not. There's no point does Turner look at the man. His eyes completely on the ball. He does lead with the elbow. He makes contact, but there's no intent there in my view.
The performance you've seen this afternoon, if you are the owners of Manchester City and all the names that are in the frame to take over that job, is this performance enough to make you think you're going to keep with Mark Hughes?
No, because what's happening in this game has happened in previous matches. It's uncomfortable being a Man City fan. Exciting, but they should be winning games far more convincing than they are today.
OK, I've got some goal news for you at Ashton Gate, and Hamish Marshall can tell us which way it's gone.
It's gone to Reading. Bristol City 1, Reading 1. Deservedly, Reading are level. The goal scorer was substitute Simon Church. He turned a shot in from the left-hand side as the cross came from the left. But we've also had a sending off in the goal celebrations as well. I'm trying to see who the referee has sent off. It may well be Church himself for his celebrations. He was actually booked as a substitute when he complained about Bristol City's penalty in the first half. He's now scored but been sent off. The key thing, though, is with a couple of minutes to go, Reading are level at 1-1.
That was the goal that Reading were praying for. Let's go to Craven Cottage now. Roger Johnson, full-time whistle's gone.
Great form today, and Zamora. I mean, Zamora now, we're talking about England. perhaps could he break into the England team? So good was he today. But Manchester United, it was nowhere near the Man United of old. And now they look vulnerable now without Ronaldo, of course, in the team this year.
Simon Church, by the way, who got that goal for Reading, has just been sent off, second bookable offence. Let's go to Ewood Park. Final whistle gone there. Alan Biggs, that was a huge win for Tottenham in many ways, wasn't it? And for those players, saving their necks ever so slightly.
I think there's a measure of relief out there, certainly a great deal of relief. Blackburn 0, Spurs 2. Tottenham players ensuring that the Dublin Christmas party is briefly forgotten, but I doubt it'll be entirely forgiven, even though wily old boss Harry Redknapp will have used his anger, I'm sure, as a motivator for this strong performance. Certainly not a champagne Tottenham today. This was a best bitter type display, as it had to be against a Blackburn side who pressed strongly at times, but Spurs defended well, if a touch desperately, and also were the only team with an assured touch in front of goal. Peter Crouch at the double here, a strong header at the end of the first half, and then a fine finish to a sweeping move near the end. Makes it Blackburn 0, Tottenham 2.
And the last time they were beaten at home, Blackburn, was the opening day of the season against Manchester City. Let's go to Pride Park. Is it an equaliser, Andrew James?
No, it's gone the way of Doncaster, Gabby, and the final whistle has just blown. It's Derby 0, Doncaster 2. James Coppinger with Doncaster's second goal. It means it's 4 straight wins for them. Billy Sharp had got the first goal early in the first half. Derby, it was an off day for them after 4 games unbeaten. Barely a side of A4 for the notes today, Gabby. It was that kind of game. Doncaster had 2 attacks and scored from them both. Billy Sharp and James Coppinger, Derby 0, Doncaster 2.
Let's go to the City of Manchester Stadium. The final whistle has gone. The snow was falling, but has that result stopped the axe falling on Mark Hughes and his job, Damien Johnson?
4-3 it finished. If providing gripping entertainment was City boss Mark Hughes' only brief, he'd surely have a job for life here at Eastlands. His side raced into a 2-0 lead through Roque Santa Cruz and a Carlos Tevez penalty. Woeful defending allowed John Mensah and Jordan Henderson to pull Sunderland back. The impressive Craig Bellamy fired City back in front before Kenwyne Jones headed in an equaliser. But we still weren't finished. Santa Cruz tapped in his second of the game. Both teams pressed for more goals, none came. But as it got increasingly feisty, Sunderland defender Michael Turner was sent off for leading with the arm and injuring Gareth Barry. It remains to be seen, though, if this is enough to save Mark Hughes. 4-3.
Thank you very much, Damien. They must have thought they'd done everything they needed to at the Valley. Lizzie Greenwood-Hughes.
I think they did think that, Gabby, but at the moment it is now 4-4. Millwall have just equalised. The substitute Danny Schofield took it past a couple of defenders and slotted it into the left-hand side of the goal. We're in injury time here. It's 4-4 at the Valley.
OK, it's full-time at Villa Park. Ivan Gaskell, by all accounts, a nervy last few minutes, but they've held on, Aston Villa.
Yes, Villa really made to work hard for it here. It took them an hour to finally break Stoke down, but not before Stoke's Mamadi Sidibe saw what looked a good goal ruled out for a push on Warnock. Seething Stoke manager Tony Pulis almost exploded with rage then when Villa took the lead through John Carew's header. Stoke threw everything at Villa as they pressed to level it, but it didn't quite happen for them. Villa's 5th successive win in all competitions. They're breathing hard down United necks at Christmas. Villa victorious here.
2 points off United they are this evening. Let's go to Ibrox. It was Rangers' biggest win of the season, and Brian McLaughlin was watching.
Certainly was. It was Rangers 6, Motherwell 1. 2 apiece from Kenny Miller and Kyle Lafferty. DeMarcus Beasley and Chris Boyd also on target. Sean Hutchison's header midway through the second half proved to be nothing less than consolation for Jim Gannon's side. At Ibrox, rampant Rangers 6, Motherwell 1.
OK, let's go to the top of League One now. Steve Lee was at Elland Road, and they'd have watched that result at the Valley with interest.
Yes, Leeds 1, Southampton 0. The game's outstanding player scoring the only goal of the match. Robert Snodgrass looked the most likely to unpick a miserly Southampton defence. His curled effort 13 minutes from time means it's 23 home league games without defeat for the league leaders. Simon Grayson celebrating a successful year at Elland Road. He also had to deal with a childish spat from Jermaine Beckford, who spat the dummy out after being substituted. They won't mind. It's Leeds 1, Southampton 0.
OK, let's go to London Road. The team propping up the championship playing Watford. Tony Lockwood was watching.
Mark Cooper secures his first win as Peterborough manager, the perfect way to celebrate his 41st birthday. Lee Frecklington's close-range finish gave them an early lead. John Eustace equalised for Watford minutes after the restart. But when George Boyd crossed for Exodus Gohagan, the player recruited from non-league football headed home. Watford's poor away form continues. By my reckoning, Peterborough are off the bottom. Peterborough 2, Watford 1.
Good win for Peterborough, but 4 losses from 5 now for Watford. They're on a bit of a slide. QPR changed their manager to avert their slide. It was Paul Hart's first match in charge at Loftus Road, and Andy Barwell was watching.
It's finished 1 apiece. QPR now 6 games without a win. Sheffield United unbeaten in 7 after this. Both teams desperately want to be in that playoff zone. Michaeli Lidgetwood scored for the home side, cancelled out by an equaliser from Richard Cresswell. Ben Watson hit the bar with a header in stoppage time for QPR. Finished here, Queen's Park Rangers 1, Sheffield United 1.
Full-time at Ashton Gate, Hamish Marshall was watching this one.
Bristol City 1, Reading 1, a fair result, but it took Reading until the dying moments to get the goal their play deserved. Simon Church got it, but was promptly sent off for his celebration. His first yellow card had come for complaining about the penalty, while he was a substitute, for which Bristol City led for most of this game through Paul Hartley. The 4th time this season they've led a 1-goal lead slip at home. That's why they're off the playoff pace, 1-1.
Lizzie Greenwood-Hughes had a busy afternoon at the Valley. It's all over, though, now, Lizzie.
I thought it would never end, Gabby, but it's ended. Charlton 4, Millwall 4. An extraordinarily highly charged game. Fans are just trying to shake my hand as I talk to you now. Millwall had gone 2-0 up, so they'll feel pretty hard done by. They had a man sent off after Charlton's second penalty, but it's just been the most incredible South East derby here. Full time at the Valley. Charlton 4, Millwall 4.
OK, we've got some news from the City of Manchester Stadium. Damien Johnson, what looks like it could have been a farewell goodbye from Mark Hughes.
Yes, on the final whistle, Mark Hughes is under intense pressure and has increased speculation about his future here. Walked out onto the pitch, 10 yards out onto the playing surface, and waved to the crowd. Now, was that a farewell from the former Blackburn and Wales manager? That remains to be seen. There is a rumour sweeping the ground that he's already resigned, and I'm hearing there may be some kind of statement from the club at 7:30 this evening.
Well, that looks more than just thank you very much for coming today, doesn't it?
That wasn't just thank you, fans, for the results. No. That looked like see you, thanks for the good times.
OK, let's get the classified results, and then we'll obviously come back and talk a bit more about that. But don't forget, you can get all the build-up and all the goals. We're here from 2:30 every Saturday. All you have to do is press the red button. And, of course, we're here on Boxing Day as well, at 2:30 on the red button. And on the 28th at the same time, you just can't get away from us. Tim Gudgin's here with the classified results.
Yes, Gabby, no surprise that a lot of games were off today because of the frost and snow, but Barclays Premier League was OK. Arsenal and Hull City have an evening kick-off at 5:30. Aston Villa 1, Stoke City 0. Blackburn Rovers 0, Tottenham Hotspur 2. Fulham 3, Manchester United 0. Manchester City 4, Sunderland 3. Portsmouth 2, Liverpool 0. In the Coca-Cola Championship, Blackpool and West Bromwich Albion postponed. Bristol City 1, Reading 1. Cardiff City and Leicester City postponed. Crystal Palace 1, Barnsley 1. Derby County 0, Doncaster Rovers 2. Nottingham Forest have an evening kick-off with Preston North End. Peterborough United 2, Watford 1. Plymouth Argyle 0, Coventry City 1. Queen's Park Rangers 1, Sheffield United 1. Scunthorpe United and Ipswich Town postponed. And Sheffield Wednesday 0, Swansea City 2. In Coca-Cola League 1, Charlton Athletic 4, Millwall 4. Colchester United match with Carlisle United postponed. Exeter City 1, Southend United 0. Gillingham 3, Stockport County 1. Hartlepool United 1, Yeovil Town 1. Leeds United 1, Southampton 0. Milton Keynes Dons 0, Bradford 1. Norwich City 3, Huddersfield Town 0. Swindon Town 2, Brighton and Hove Albion 1. Tranmere Rovers 2, Bristol Rovers 0. Walsall 2, Leyton Orient 2. And Wycombe Wanderers 2, Oldham Athletic 2. There you see what I meant about postponements. Coca-Cola League 2, All postponed apart from Rochdale 4, Shrewsbury Town 0. The Clydesdale Bank Scottish Premier League, Aberdeen 0, Hibernian 2. Hamilton Academicals match with Dundee United postponed. Kilmarnock 1, Falkirk 2. Rangers 6, Motherwell 1. St Johnstone 1, St Mirren 0. In the Arnbrew Scottish Division 1, Ayr United's match with Partick Thistle postponed. Dundee 3, Greenock Morton 1. Dunfermline Athletic 0, Inverness Caledonian Thistle 0. Queen of the South and Wraith Rovers postponed. Ross County 5, Airdrie United 3. The Scottish Div 3 all postponed. The Carling Premiership, Ballymena United 2, Linfield 0. Cliftonville 1, Dungannon Swifts 0. Colerane's match with Portadown postponed. Crusaders 2, Lisbon Distillery 0. Glenavon 0, Institute 1. Glentoran 0, Newry City 1.
And just one late kick-off to tell you about. They're still playing at Queen's Park. They're leading 3-1 against Montrose in the Iron Brew Scottish Division 3 match. Let's have a look then at the tables, starting with the Premier League. Chelsea will go 6 points clear if they beat West Ham tomorrow afternoon. Manchester United's 5th defeat of the season means the champions lose ground in the title race. Aston Villa are now just 2 points behind the Red Devils, with Tottenham hot on their heels. Another loss for Liverpool means Rafael Benitez's side are as near to the bottom as they are to the top. Down at the bottom, victory at Fratton Park, not quite enough to lift Portsmouth off the bottom, but Avram Grant's men only 2 points from safety now. West Ham will replace Pompey on the foot of the table if they lose to Chelsea. Wolves and Bolton not in action today, while Hull face Arsenal in the late kick-off. Let's have a look at the Championship. The leaders, Newcastle United, in action against their north-east rivals Middlesbrough tomorrow, live on BBC One, kick-off at 1 o'clock. And they remain 7 points clear at the top after second-place West Bromwich Albion's game at Blackpool was postponed. Nottingham Forest will move up to third if they beat Preston North End. That's the evening late kick-off, and that's because Cardiff's game with fellow high flyers Leicester was called off. Down at the bottom, Plymouth slipped to the foot of the table after losing to Coventry. Peterborough won for the first time under new boss Mark Cooper to climb above Argyle. However, the Posh are still 4 points from safety. Sheffield Wednesday lost at home to Swansea but remained 3 points adrift of Ipswich, who weren't in action today. And managerless Reading picked up a valuable point at Bristol City. League One, Leeds will celebrate Christmas, 4 points clear at the top of League One after another victory today. Simon Grayson's side also the first in the Football League to hit 50 points this campaign. Charlton played out an entertaining 4-4 draw at home to local rivals Millwall, but they're losing a bit of ground there on the leaders. Norwich won for a 7th straight game at Fortress Carrow Road to close within touching distance of the Addicts. Colchester, Huddersfield and Swindon will all spend Christmas in the playoff spots. At the bottom, Stockport County lost at Gillingham and continue to prop up the division. Wickham drew at home to Oldham but remain deep in relegation trouble. Tranmere's recent recovery continues. Les Parry's side close to within 3 points of safety. He's staying there till the end of the season at least. Brighton occupy the final relegation place after losing at Swindon this afternoon. At League Two at the top, just one League Two game survived the wintry conditions today. Leaders Rochdale beat Shrewsbury 4-0 to go 7 points clear of Bournemouth. 7th place Morecambe drew 1-1 at Grimsby last night. And we have a look at the bottom. That point wasn't enough to take the Mariners out of the relegation zone, although they are at least better off than bottom side at Darlington. And the blue square table is not going to come up because all today's matches were postponed because of the weather. Let's have a look at the SPL, though. Rangers stretched their lead to 4 points with a 6-1 victory against Motherwell at Ibrox. Second place Celtic get their chance to respond at Hearts tomorrow. Third place Hibs won at Aberdeen to stretch their unbeaten run to 12 league games. Falkirk stayed bottom despite beating Kilmarnock to claim only their second win of the season. St Johnstone beat St Mirren to claim their first home win since October, while Hamilton's game with Dundee United was postponed. And Scottish Iron Brew Division 1. Only 3 games survived the weather there. Dundee increased their lead at the top to 7 points with victory over Morton. Ross County hit 5 to move up to second. Airdrie remain rooted to the bottom after a 12th defeat of the season. They're 4 points behind Ayr but have played a game more. No games in Scottish Division 2 today, so we're going to go to Division 3. Livingston's advantage at the top remains 2 points from East Stirling, as neither club were in action today. Montrose's game at Queen's Park was the only game in the division to go ahead this afternoon. The Gable Endies may be wishing it hadn't, though. They were trailing Queen's Park 3-2 with moments to go. OK, the headlines from the Barclays Premier League today. Manchester City 4, Sunderland 3. City end a rocky week with victory in a 7-goal thriller at Eastland. Santa Cruz delivers a timely double to secure 3 valuable points for the under-fire boss Mark Hughes after Sunderland twice came from behind. Aston Villa 1, Stoke City 0. Martin O'Neill's side are in cruise control as they move up to 3rd place. Over the Potters will feel the season of goodwill has not been extended to them after Sidibe had an earlier effort ruled out. Blackburn 0, Tottenham 2. Peter Crouch's Spurs head boy at Ewood Park. The England man scores twice to send his side 4th and banish memories of Dublin Gates. The Guinness seems to have done them well. Well, don't forget, Match of the Day is on at 10:30 tonight. Plenty to get stuck into there for the guys. 10:30, as I say, on BBC One, repeated 7:45 in the morning. The Football League show's on straight after that. Steve will join Manish. That comes on air at 20 to midnight. And tomorrow, league leaders Newcastle United are at home to local rivals Middlesbrough. 10-1 on BBC One. You can catch that one. Tomorrow, Match of the Day 2 is on BBC 2 at 10:30. Coverage, of course, of Chelsea's trip to beleaguered West Ham, the pick of the bunch, you'd imagine. Let's speak to John Motson, who I'm sure at Craven Cottage has plenty to talk about Manchester United's performance, first of all. Credit to Fulham, I guess, should we start off with?
Yeah, let's start there because they've had a great week, haven't they? Getting into the knockout stages of the Europa League, taking this match by the scruff of the neck very early on. Bobby Zamora is scoring another goal, which brings his total for the season to 10. I know people are going to say Manchester United had a makeshift defence out. They played a back 3 today of Fletcher, Carrick and Delate. But that isn't the whole story because United had enough celebrated forwards on the pitch to have done a lot better than this. I'm trying to think of a moment in the game when they gave Mark Schwarzer a difficult shot to save, and I can't think of one.
And you know, Manchester United have got AC Milan in their minds for the Champions League. As we're looking towards January, you know, can you see Alex Ferguson going out there and spending money? This defensive situation is not going to go away quickly, is it?
Well, not from what I've heard today. I don't think too many of them are on the way back very quickly. But I'd have to say this, that they're probably quite glad about the Mark Hughes story knocking them off the headlines this weekend, if what you say is right about what's happened at Eastlands. But no, there is a problem here for Manchester United because one or two of their celebrated players today, Paul Scholes in particular, and Michael Owen, didn't really shine. And as you said earlier, Fulham are playing with so much confidence that they don't really give you the opportunity to have a bad performance and still get something out of the game. Whether Alex Ferguson will go and spend money, I think it's more a question of when they can regroup and get their full squad back together again.
And Chelsea now with a chance tomorrow to go to Upton Park and extend their lead to 6 points ahead of Christmas.
That's true, but I mean, there have been so many topsy-turvy results in the Premier League these last few weeks. I'm starting to wonder whether it's worth having a few bob on Aston Villa, Gabby. They're about the only consistent team playing there at the moment, and they put a run together that nobody else has. This is going to be a really fascinating Christmas and New Year, and indeed the second half of the season, because I honestly think the Premier League has suddenly changed from a predictable four-man march for the last few years. We've suddenly got the Aston Villas and the Tottenhams, and I was going to say Manchester City, but if the manager's going to get the sack after only 2 defeats up to December, then the game has gone completely crazy.
Thank you very much, Motti. Enjoy yourself over the weekend, and indeed, hopefully speak to you on Boxing Day. Take care. It is crazy, isn't it, what's going on at the moment at the top of the Premier League? You cannot predict a result every weekend. There is something comes out left field. Is it exciting? Is it bewildering? Is the Premier League going through a period of transition that we should be concerned about?
I think it's a level of transition that we shouldn't be concerned about. We should be excited about, as far as I'm concerned. Aston Villa tonight go third in the table. Arsenal have now got 2 games in hand. We know we play tonight, but if they win their 2 games in hand, they can go second. And all that talk at the Emirates saying, well, we don't think we can win the title. Wenger's always said he's got a great chance of winning the title. My goodness, they win those 2 games in hand, they have.
I think it's a great day for Chelsea, though. I think often when you're going for the Championship, you grow that belief when you're not playing yourself. And today they'll sit and watch this and think we need to cash in tomorrow. If they can do that, they look in a very strong position.
5 games Man United have lost before Christmas. 5 games. That's over a quarter of their games already this season. You know, there's no doubt that at this stage they're not the side they were last year. And you know, this is the concern. It's Chelsea, if they start stringing some results together, Man United will only get so many chances and Chelsea will be gone.
Well, they lost 5 games, but Liverpool have lost 7 games now, and one of those was at lunchtime. They were at Fratton Park against Portsmouth, and Jonathan Pearce has got the reaction from the managers and the players.
I think the team was good in the first half. We were controlling the game. We conceded a goal, but still you could see that we had. I think we had control. After the sending off of Mascherano, everything changed. So the second half was totally different because we were playing with 10 players and they were winning. They were waiting, playing counter-attack, and always, it's more difficult.
I'm very pleased from the performance, from the results. I think it's continued at what we did Wednesday. Wednesday we played second half also. Good against Chelsea. We deserve more than what we get. So it showed to the players that even if they are at the bottom and people don't expect us to play this football, we can do it, and even against big teams.
You've seen the sending off again. Mascherano did go over the ball with a challenge, but did you think it was harsh?
The referee was perfect. He didn't make any mistake. He was perfect when he was not giving fouls to Torres, and he was perfect in everything.
A hint of sarcasm you detected there, didn't you, Garth Crooks?
If Rafa Benitez is trying to blame the referee for their defeat, he's very much mistaken.
If Manchester United's defeat shows us that it's all change at the top of the Premier League and there's a new world order, surely Liverpool tonight in 7th, 7 points off Aston Villa is all the proof we need that this is
the shadow of the fallen themselves. They lacked belief. I mean, Portsmouth looked far better than today, and they're at the bottom of the table. So it can't get much worse for Liverpool. Not seen a performance like that from a Liverpool team for some years.
I think as well, what's most worrying is, I mean, they've lost 10 games, so far this year. They've had the two best players are playing for them. Torres and Gerrard are in the side, so there are no more excuses to be made here.
Absolutely right.
OK, I think we're going to hear from the Tottenham manager, Harry Redknapp, now. He saw his side beat Blackburn Rovers 2-0 at Ewood Park, and he's talking to Steve Wilson.
Harry, not too many teams come here and win, certainly not since Sam took over. That's a terrific result.
Yeah, it's tough, always a tough place to come. I don't think we've had too much success here over the years, and to come here and pick up 3 vital points today was a great result for us in the end.
And also, I think it's the first time you put together back-to-back clean sheets, so obviously things are working well at the other end.
Yeah, it's nice to have a clean sheet, but 3 points is the main thing. It's been a difficult week. We started the week with a setback with Wolves, and then we came back and had a fantastic result with Man City and 3 points today. If at the start of the week you'd have said, well, do you want to take 6 points out of these 3 games? I think you'd have took them for sure. So it's been a good week really, and a terrific result today.
And Peter Crouch had one go against him. He was marginally offside, but he took his 2 very well.
Yeah, I haven't seen the replay. It was offside, was he, for the header? Yeah. He finished them both well, and so it was nice to see Peter weighing with a couple of goals. He works hard for the team, and the other week when Jermaine got his goals, Peter only got the 1, so for him to weigh in with 2 today was good.
Sometimes, teams win with great style and everything. Yeah. Sometimes they win with graft. It was probably more of a graft today.
It was today, yeah. It wasn't a free-flowing performance. I felt the conditions were difficult today, really. The sleet and that was coming down throughout the game. And they worked hard, Blackburn. As all Sam's teams always work hard. They pressed us, closed us down, made it difficult. And they had 1 or 2 opportunities as well themselves. And it wasn't an easy game. It was a tough game, but we ground it out and we got the result.
Everyone saw your press conference yesterday. Are you still cross with him?
Listen, it was... it was just, I was disappointed that they didn't ask me, that was all. They've done nothing wrong, they've not gone out, and it didn't affect any results, that was for sure. It didn't affect the Wolves result, that was 4 days earlier. They trained great on the Thursday and Friday, but, I said I didn't want them to have a party, and that was the only disappointing part of it for me. But, that's all part of growing up, I suppose, and we'll sort them out on Monday. Thank you.
You enjoy your Christmas, Harry, thank you.
I'm sure he will, and we can't get cameras there to watch that sorting out. But today they ground out a result, he said, and that's what Tottenham have got to do, isn't it? If they're going to maintain any kind of challenge on that top 4, they've got to grind out results at places like Ewood Park.
And at home when they're playing teams in the bottom 3. And the only way they get out of that misdemeanour of going to Dublin in a private jet is if they win the game. They win the game against Wolves, no one has anything to say. And we understand boys will be boys, but today they were superb.
OK, we want to update you a little bit on that Mark Hughes, possibly a farewell to the fans at Eastlands. This is not normal Saturday afternoon goodbyes, is it? Well, we don't think. Unconfirmed reports from Eastlands say Manchester City boss Mark Hughes will be sacked this evening. According to the Press Association, City will release a statement tonight confirming Hughes' departure. 6th in the table, Manchester City, a 4-3 win over Sunderland. Yes, they've definitely been the most inconsistent of sides of late. But are you surprised if he goes before Christmas?
No, and I take a slightly different view from my colleagues, people like John Motson, who I have a huge regard for. But this is about the draws and the expectation now at Manchester City. I think 8 draws I've calculated that were bankable points, and I think that's the big issue. The goal tally against is also another big issue, and the way the defence is performing. There are 3 major issues here, and if you're going to get that top 4 spot, and there's no better chance to do that than this year, then they might need a top-class manager who can deal with those players.
We're going to go to Eastlands now because Guy Mowbray has caught up with the losing manager, Steve Bruce.
Steve, for us, that game could have gone on all night. I suspect you take a different view.
I agree. It's a magnificent spectacle. And I think in 10 years of being in this game, and I've seen and witnessed a very good game. And, hey, you could say that Bellamy was fantastic, which he was. The penalty decision's a joke. I wrote to Andrew Mariner... I wrote to Keith Hackett 6 weeks ago, complaining about Andrew Mariner on Kenwyn Jones's push when the player fell over. I seen him then a week later see Chimbonda strike somebody, gives him a yellow card. Today again, OK, we might have lost the game anyway. The Michael Turner incident, I want me centre-half to go and head it like that. The kid has not genuinely moved away from watching the ball. To get a red card for that is absolutely obscene. I hope he's got the guts to come out and have a look at it and say that he was wrong. But it was a fantastic spectacle as a game. For me, the referee, again, when we've had him, and I have to say now, because I probably complained about him, then he's got the huff with me or whatever, and for me, he never give us anything at all.
OK, well, one manager who I imagine will allow himself a little smile this evening, Martin O'Neill's Aston Villa side up to 3rd in the table. He wants to keep a lid on expectations, he said before this one. He must be a relieved man tonight, though. He's talking to Dan O'Hagan.
But Martin, 4 wins in a row, and you had to really work hard for that one today.
This was really tough, and we knew it would be, so we had a sort of a mindset for it. And Stoke didn't disappoint us in terms of what they were going to bring. They're very, very strong. They're very, very good, and the game, remarkably, even though the scoreline doesn't suggest it, was actually very, very open, particularly in the first half, when if it broke down, one team was attacking the other one at will. But if I make some sort of point at the end of it all, considering the games that we've had recently, I thought this was our best win.
And 4 clean sheets in a row too now as well.
Well, that is obviously very, very pleasing, and I think you could see today that everybody has shared in that. Goalkeeper just recently has made some fantastic saves. We've been able to head things clear. Players are prepared to put their bodies in front of the ball, and that's really all I can ask.
OK. Martin O'Neill's side, as I've mentioned, up to 3rd in the table. A great win for Aston Villa because they really had to kind of grind it out towards the end of that today.
Absolutely. We talk about Tottenham having to grind out and not playing particularly attractive football. That's exactly what Villa have done. They've had 2 massive away games. Man United took an awful lot out of them. Long trip to Sunderland, got a great result there. I thought they might just feel the effects of that, but no, with that, the squad that Martin's building now, no doubt with Carew for Heskey, that's paid dividends.
Let's talk, though, a bit more about what's happening at the moment at Eastlands. As you can see, we saw the losing manager, Steve Bruce, come out and talk to Guy Mowbray. No sign yet of Mark Hughes. Is that more indication for you, Martin, that perhaps all's not well there? And
yeah, of course. I mean, it's not a normal situation. I mean, what we have to say is Mark got on with the job today. Clearly, he knew before. It looks like, anyway, that he knew he was going to go. He's been professional. He's been dignified. He's had to do things at express speed there. They wanted results quickly. He bought all sorts of players. He nearly got it right. If you look at the Chelsea result recently, they were close to getting it right, but not quite close enough.
We will, of course, keep across that story when we move on to the red button in a few moments' time. But I want to hear very briefly your performances of the day, Steve.
Yeah, Aston Villa for me, as I said, tough week, and they finished it off nicely.
Fulham beating the champions, and Samora as well was outstanding.
Tottenham have put Dublin Gate to rest.
Tottenham ground out a result
2-0 victory at Blackburn Rovers.
Party hats, wasn't it?
And for you, has that put them back into that kind of contention there for top 4?
If they continue in that vein, yes.
OK. That's just about it from us on BBC One. Don't forget, we carry on with reaction interviews and goals on the red button. And we just want to let you know as well that Manchester City have announced that they're going to make a statement at 7 o'clock this evening So news from Eastlands later on this evening. That's it from all of us here. You can join us on the Red Button. Have a great Christmas. And don't forget, we'll see you at Boxing Day, 2:30 on the Red Button then. Take care. Bye-bye.